The reason you actually edit slowly is quite a simple problem. It's simply because you attach yourself way too much to the outcome of that video. Because think about it, you're literally just editing a TikTok video or an Instagram reel or YouTube shorts, which if you're planning to do this for the long term, you're going to edit thousands upon thousands of those. So why are you attaching yourself to such a small short? It's just an input into the overall grand picture that you have. You're way too focused on the views, you're way too focused on the likes, the bookmarks, the shares, the comments you're gonna get, the controversy you're going to ensnare in the comments. You're just way too focused on the actual outcome instead of being focused on the input, incrementally improving. There's two solutions to this, which I've just personally found from my experience with editing hundreds of TikTok videos, both for clients as well as for TikTok pages that I built up. The first solution is being conscious about the time that you're spending while editing. The second solution is to incrementally improve the actual quality of your work, rather than trying to create a world-class Oscar, Grammy type video for TikTok. Just incrementally improve bit by bit with every single video. That said, the first step towards this strategy, this protocol of editing faster through being conscious about your time and incrementally improving. Clean your desk and environment before you begin editing. Now you may be thinking, James, why do I need to do this? This is not related to editing, but it actually is. The reason being is because, as we see, back here is my desk. And if my computer is on the desk, why would I want to have a cluttered space? It makes zero sense. It's literally harming your productivity, because now at the back of your mind, you're starting to think of all these things that are around your area, that are around your desk. You don't need them to be there. You don't want them to be there. So simply just clean them up. Get a towel, start wiping your desk, wipe up all the dust, because I know there's a lot of dust that's built up. Maybe if you have a lot of books on your desk, start organizing them. Either stack them up, because ideally you don't want to have any food, a lot of books, any of this stuff on your desk. You simply just want your monitor, as well as your keyboard, your mouse, as well as your mouse pad. If you have one book or a journal, that's fine, obviously. Maybe you're taking notes, maybe you're reading on your spare time, but don't have a cluttered desk, don't have a cluttered environment. It's really going to mess up your productivity. That's the first and fundamental step. Step number 2, get a timer, ideally a physical one, like a Fitbit right here, and basically set it for no more than 60 minutes. Right now my Fitbit, okay, there you go, it's actually working now. So basically I'm setting up my timer. This is what I personally do. I set it for no more than 60 minutes. The reason why for 60 minutes is because that's enough time to make a high quality video, but it's not too much time to where you're gonna start slowing down, losing focus, all these things. So as you can see, I just set it for 60 minutes. You can see right there, 60 minutes, and then basically I just start that timer. And usually I like to start that timer right when I put the clip on the timeline. So before I actually start this timer, I want to make sure the clip is actually ready in the software. I have the songs I want to use, I have the B-rolls, if I have any B-rolls pre-selected, any of these media before I actually begin the timer and begin editing. This is very crucial in order to just have a smoother process while you edit. So keep this in mind, set a timer, 1 hour maximum, and just get it done. You have to aim to beat the clock, to finish the clock. If you don't do it in that time, you're just going to be slowing down. And think about your entire day. You don't want to be editing all day long. Ideally, you want to do other things, so then you can edit with peace, with focus, and with clarity of mind. Third step is to create a vision in your mind before you begin editing. You need to have a vision before you actually edit your video. What this means is just start imagining how you want this clip to be like. How do you actually want your video to be like before you even begin editing? If you can do this, you're going to drastically speed up the speed and the efficiency at which you edit your videos, at which you move along the keyboard, move your mouse, you make decisions, which is very important when it actually comes to editing. You want to know what you're actually about to get into. If you've played sports before, it's the same thing as having a playbook. In that playbook, you want to know exactly the plays you want to make in order to get the touchdown, in order to get the goal, in order to get the points. It's literally the same thing, except it's just in your mind, it's mental. And you want to apply that playbook onto the editing timeline in real time. So that way you're not wasting time trying to think, what should I do at this point? What should I do at that point? Instead, you have a plan, you have a game plan, you know what to do, and you get straight to it. The fourth thing that you want to do is you want to have a well-defined editing process when you edit your videos. Something you're probably doing right now is you're probably first cutting up the clip, the next thing you're doing is adding visual effects, or maybe on another day, you're gonna do subtitles, and then you can add the music, and then cut up the clip. Then maybe on the third day, getting the sound effects, then you're adding the subtitles and the hook caption, and then you're cutting up the clip. Your process is likely not that organized, are not that defined in order to actually understand what you want to do. Do this either on a whiteboard or maybe just a piece of paper, either or. Just do it on one of them. Literally just write out a step-by-step process. Think about some of your past editing sessions. What were the times where you were editing at your best, where you were very focused, where you were very efficient, where you were just very in the zone, you were locked in. Think about those times and then emulate them for this spreadsheet, for this piece of paper, this whiteboard process that you want to write down. Think, okay, how did I edit this video so fast? Okay, maybe it's because first I got the clip. Okay, let me write down step 1. Let me get the clip first. Okay, step 2, I actually started cutting up the video because that made it very easy to do the other effects. So step 2, cutting up the video. Okay, now I've cut up the video, probably very easy to add the visual effects, the B-rolls, the transitions, all that stuff. So step 3, visual effects. And as you just keep going through that list, you're gonna have a well-defined, clear, and ideally a simple process to actually begin editing your videos. So just keep that in mind. You really want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing at every single step. So that way it's just very clear, very simple, very easy to understand, and very efficient. The 5th and final step is to play chill and relaxed music while you're editing. So I don't know if you're doing this, but you might be basically listening to a bunch of rap music or a bunch of pop music. Any of these musics that are very just upbeat, you can actually hear and understand the lyrics because it's in English. All this stuff, I would not recommend you do that. The reason is simple, is because you're going to start to think of those lyrics and you're going to start to become distracted by those lyrics as you edit. And that is not a good recipe to actually be efficient while you're editing. Ideally, you want to listen to something that's very calm, very relaxing, very peaceful, such as lo-fi, Korean R&B, piano music, classical music. Listen to any of these genres and edits and see how your productivity, your efficiency actually changes. Because you're going to start to notice that you're way more focused, way more locked in on what you're doing on the project at hand. And naturally, because you're in that flow state, you're going to go way faster. Things are going to be seamless. And then lastly, I'd say a bonus step is you want to have a base level of edits before you actually go into the edits. So what that basically means is you want to actually understand what type of edits do I just naturally do or are just second nature to me. The way you can actually develop this is through watching a lot of editing tutorials for your software. Find a really good creator that does editing tutorials and just watch them. And constantly, as you're watching the tutorial, drill it in real time. So do the edits on the editing timeline in real time. Keep drilling it in, keep practicing it. You want to keep on drilling it in because it's going to build up that repetition. Then very soon it'll become second nature. Then you can just pull out that effect that you want to use because you've done it so many times. You don't need to think about it. So that said, the actionable step for this video, take this 5-step protocol that I just listed as well as the bonus and then just act on it and watch how your editing is going to drastically change. It's going to be way faster, it's going to be way more efficient. You're actually going to be way more fulfilled because you're not taking all this time to edit. Instead, you're focusing on what needs to be done, getting it done, and then moving on with your day. That said, apply this. This is how to edit faster.